This just left a bad taste in my mouth. There is nothing that exemplifies the Democrats' race-tinted worldview than the fact that an establishment Democrat like Maxine Waters decided to gaslight the American voter for their supposed racism and sexism against Kamala Harris. But Chris Cuomo finally had enough, and you need to see Maxine's face in response to this pushback when she least expected it.
Last night, Republicans just didn't win the presidency. They won control of the Senate and may win the House. What does this mean for Democrats in terms of why they believe it happened? But more importantly, what will they do now? Let's ask leader among Democrats, California Democratic Congresswoman Maxine Waters, currently serving her 17th term, just won re-election in her district. Representative, congratulations. What is the lesson that your party should have learned?
Well, the Democratic Party worked very hard, and they raised, substantial sum of money. We had great candidates, and so Trump had a following, basically generally led by whites. White males voted in big numbers. He had a few from the other race groups that joined in, like the Latinos at 45%, and black men at about the same rate that they did when they voted for him before, at about 20%. That combination won. And so it is not that Democrats did not work hard, did not do a great job. We had an unusual situation where we had a black woman, which this country has never seen before. A combination of all of those things led to his win.
I will not push back on the idea that race and sex matter in American politics. I think they do. I don't know that it was the controlling variable, and you don't suggest otherwise. To me, it seemed to be that the Democrats thought Trump stinks is enough.
Exactly, and it's about time someone threw away the niceties to speak this truth straight to her face. Honestly, I had a facepalm the moment Maxine Waters even started speaking in terms of collective racial groups to answer that simple question. No, it's not that America has never seen a black woman before. It's that Kamala Harris was a weak and rejected candidate and an empty establishment mouthpiece regardless of who or what she is. America has already elected an African American to power twice consecutively with Barack Obama that we forget, and it has even voted women popularly with Hillary Clinton. Nobody's buying this Democrat attempt to deflect accountability because this is precisely the kind of race hustling that lost the election. They cannot force a candidate down people's throats and then try to turn them into some sort of Rosa Parks of the modern politics when the voters reject them for it. And while I understand Chris Cuomo is trying to hold back his feelings, even he realizes just how far the New Democrats have dug their head in the sand when Maxine Waters outright refuses any intention to work with the Trump administration.
Will you work with Donald Trump and his party, or are you going to work on ways to investigate him?
Well, Donald Trump is whom he is. He is a liar. He is someone who has abandoned his own party in the way that he deals with people. There was, at one time, you could think about the Republican Party as being extraordinarily patriotic. This is a man who is in line with Putin and Kim Jong-un in North Korea. He doesn't give a damn about patriotism. So are you asking me, can I work with him? What can I do to, I guess, not investigate him? He'll only get investigated when he does bad things. He has been investigated. He has been charged, not because someone was out to get him. It is because he performed ungodly things. This is a man who has no moral compass. So what are you asking me? You're asking me to somehow not see all of that, not understand that? That is not possible. He is who he is, and he's going to continue to be whom he is. He said he's going to get retribution from those who have not worked with him, who don't like him. He's out to get people like me, et cetera, et cetera. What should I do? Talk about I love Trump, I want to work with him? I think that he is not someone who can ever be worked with.
This is like seeing someone from the 1960s comment on 21st century America. not realizing how far this country has come in race relations, and maybe that's a natural consequence when you're pushing 90 with your 17th term as representative, and becoming ever more out of touch with a young generation of Americans that wants to look forward rather than settle old racial scores. Voters have made it clear, poll after poll, that they want their elected representatives to work together across party lines and not be stuck-up moral elitists that refuse to engage, and unsurprisingly, this isn't even new for Maxine Waters. She once infamously called out Democrat voters to squeeze the public space for Republican representatives by heckling or shouting them down where they could find them.
Let's stay the course. Let's make sure we show up wherever we have to show up. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
Look at the average working class voter around you and tell me if this kind of rhetoric even remotely interests any of them. I think that you'll see a snapshot of what has happened this past 4 years. The crisis of inflation and global peace completely destroyed the pillars for a Democratic Party that for the last decade had created an entire political structure based on abstract issues like identity. But the moment people became desperate for survival, all of that vanished, leaving those voters no reason to vote Democrat. That's what people like Bernie Sanders remarked soon after the election loss, much to the chagrin of the Democrat establishment. He wrote, and I quote, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party, which has abandoned working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change." And they're right. When you put on that political lens, every action the Democrats take becomes clear, and that includes the string of failed political rallies that they've been holding for a few weeks, giving us visuals like this, with Maxine Waters confusingly and repeatedly asking a guard at the education department for his ID, which became fodder for the internet meme culture very quickly.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let him see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it.
And while you can laugh at that, I think it reveals a deeper disconnect in the party that is much more serious. You see, we're already over a month into the Trump administration, and time is going to fly for the Democrats sooner than they think. And that leaves little time to turn things around for the midterms or even the next election. But with an outdated mindset like this at the driving seat, I don't see any radical rethink happening in the party from the inside out. Please, though, let me know in the comments what you think and share this with your Democrat friends to see if they feel the same way. Meanwhile, we'll have to hope that sanity prevails and the Democrats can at least play the role of a viable opposition party for the next 4 years.